Hi everyone. When I started a run as the Ranger in the video game Brotato, I thought, this is what Brotato can be at its best. And don't get me wrong, it is an amazing game. But with this kind of bullet heaven going on, I also was impressed with how it's a fairly intuitive way to think of upgrades as well for your character. I'm going to put down my all favorite weapons and items for the Ranger and give some tips along the way. Tips that I'm actually learning myself as I go. So I'm going to share them so you can unlock these tools and upgrades, have lots of fun, and let's dive in. When you're diving into your first run as a Ranger, your priorities become pretty clear. You want plenty of ranged damage. Now, you have that 50% scale up bonus that you automatically have as a Ranger with ranged damage weapons once you start. And of course, you have a whopping plus 50 range that you're also given from the very start. But that's the thing with ranged damage. Basically, it is enabling your weapons to cut through the hordes more effectively because of the very fact that they're guns, that they have a larger range than most other weapons. But you also want to focus on attack speed at the same time, because really the two complement each other. One is about getting the biggest bang for buck that you can out of your guns as you're shooting these projectiles, but the other is about being quick to the draw, so to speak. It is about being able to react quickly to the oncoming hordes from all sides with your weapons and be able to deal the most damage with your attack rate of shooting as well. So really, you need both in order to have a well-rounded character, but also to make the most of each of these stats: ranged damage and attack speed. And don't worry about buying lots of range, since this stat actually works against you in a lot of cases. When you stack up a lot of range and then you shoot enemies far away from you and they die further away, that means you have to run a lot farther to pick up their materials. So you end up missing out on a lot of upgrades because you simply can't stack up as much coin as you'd like because these materials are being dropped so far away. You want them close by so you can snap them up. When it comes to weapons, you not only need lots of guns, but the right kinds of guns. And you want a special type of gun for the Ranger's abilities. First off, you'll want to start out with the SMG, again because it's solid and it has decent stats across the board and it's very upgradable, and you'll want to stick to this weapon across this run. And really, if you keep 3 of these in your outfit, you'll get what's called set bonuses. These are big bonuses in scaling your weapons that come specifically with the Ranger character. For instance, if you have 6 SMGs in your arsenal, you'll get a massive scale up in ranged damage, since it always gets a 50% increase in those modifications. And so SMGs are your best friend, but you also want a longer range weapon. So plan on trying to keep it as simple as possible and lean into your SMGs from the very start. Now, this is a lesson that I just learned recently, and as you can see from the footage, I didn't do that from the get-go. So again, I'm in this process with you as we learn how to have more fun and enjoy this game. But anyway, let's take a look at the items that will equip these weapons the best. First off, you'll want to snap up the lens because that helps your ranged damage and crit chance. It does take your range down a bit, but again, this is not a huge deal since the Ranger naturally has scale ups in that area or comes into the fray with a lot of range. And then you have also the scope, which gets you 2 range damage and 25 range. The small magazine, which has 2 range damage and also 2% attack speed, which again is what you want. And this will keep your guns well equipped until you have enough coin and luck to buy the alloy. And if you want the single most valuable item that is out there though, for the Ranger, go for the baby with a beard. This item causes 1 bullet that deals 100% damage to get fired out of a dead enemy. So the instant you make that kill, you have a bullet that can get fired from that point into your oncoming enemy horde. And that bullet launches itself, multiplies your shooting capacity hugely, and you don't want this gem to pass you by. You want the baby with a beard. So with a bag full of range and range damage tools and trinkets along the way, along with a few handy items that can support this ability for your ranger, you'll find your outfit almost seems to build itself if you just follow these rules. And believe me, there's nothing quite like the invincible feeling of raining down high damage missiles on these enemy hordes. And it takes practice, of course, but I encourage you, have fun, try different kinds of builds out. Try to follow these lines though in order to upgrade quickly and make the most of your character, but don't feel hindered from experimenting at the same time. Find new ways. Let the rest of us know about your discoveries. And I'd love to hear those in the comments. Catch you in the next one. Peace.